Hey, what's up, everybody? So, the episode that a lot of you guys have probably been waiting for. I'm sitting down with a very good friend of mine, Naeem Imam. This is episode 2 of the Craftcast, and we're gonna talk to Naeem. We're gonna find out, how he started his whole journey, some of his greatest achievements, and just a whole story behind him. And we're gonna talk about, quite a lot about the nice stuff that is acquired and stuff like that, and I'll show you guys some pictures and some videos. So yeah, Naeem, welcome to the Craftcast.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, like I was telling you earlier on, I got a face for radio. So I'm not always in front of the camera. I always post stuff on Instagram, but
Yeah.
always behind the scenes. So
No, easy.
shot, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
So yeah, bro, I think just jumping straight into it, I mean, I'm fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with you that I really appreciate. I'm always at your house. We do a lot of work together. You give me a lot of opportunities to do boxes and photography for your cars and stuff like that. But I think, we posted those questions on Instagram and my WhatsApp yesterday, and we're going to address some of those towards the ending of the video also. But I think the one and the most important question that I've been getting a lot is, how did it all start for you? Yes, if you look at your Instagram page, we'll see that, you have all the nice cars, you have the nice watches, you go on some nice trips and stuff like that. But like what got you into it? Like, what got it started? Like, how were you as a kid? Did you grow up with a business mindset? Did you grow up with, parents maybe or family that were in business that gave you like some tips or something? Or was it just like, pure hustle? So just like your story, your definition of how you started your
Yeah.
stuff, and what do you like, what's your business actually?
So let's take a step back and like just unpack that a little bit. Where I come from is just both my parents, hardcore hustlers, hardcore basically working. My dad was a bus driver.
Yeah.
Mom worked in a factory. No silver platter basically for my growing up. Lived in an average middle class home back
Yeah.
in the South, Land South.
Yeah.
But what set me apart was, or what was great for me, is that I saw my father working hard every single day. He was a bus driver, and then later on when we moved to Joburg, he became a truck driver. And in a week, a 7-day week, he would go 6 days
Yeah.
to Durban every single day with a truck to
Yeah.
deliver ice cream.
Wow.
He used to go in after school, drop us off in school in the morning, load for the shop,
Yeah.
get to work, go to Durban. The following morning, he's back taking us to school the next morning, as if nothing was, like he would work an 8 to 5 job. But we never saw him,
Yeah.
Mom, same thing, she worked in a factory for Record and Coleman. Now it's Record, I think it's just Record Bankiza.
Yeah.
Worked in a factory, literally stood in a cage, got a job as a temp, wiping jig bottles and handy bottles back in the day, I'm talking early 90s. But I saw them waking up every morning at 4 o'clock and going to work. No
Yeah.
complaining, no sick leave, just holiday, which was your monthly holiday you'll get every now and then, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I think the hard work kind of like inspired me from them, like that's where I learned it.
Yeah.
In terms of like my background and things, was there any business entrepreneurial people or mentors? Not that I can remember, or anybody that had a business that I was inspired to be like, besides wanting to be better myself, Ever since a young age, I've always been a hustler. I've always been selling something.
100%.
One of the earliest things that, one day my sister and I walking to school, madrasa actually, and there was a cake sale that afternoon in madrasa, and before we got to school or to madrasa, I sold all the cakes on the way to school, like on the way to the madrasa that
Jeez.
afternoon. Before we got there, I sold all the cakes. Like everybody walking past, I'd be like, hey, listen, I'm selling a slice of this cake. Do you want to buy it? It was like 1 rand or something, and shot. Everybody was just buying it, like on the way to school.
Yeah.
And just small things. We've always been hustling, like buying stuff, selling it. Like then came the cell phone era where you had a 5110 or 6110.
That's mad.
Bro, at some point, me and my bros, we used to basically like get textbooks.
Yeah.
How we got it, I don't know, but you used to sell it back to the kids, because if you didn't have your textbook at the last day of school,
That's
you
straight.
couldn't get your report,
No,
basically.
that's straight hustle. No, that's
You know?
straight. That's straight hustle.
And then it
That's
became the
cheese shit.
calculator era, because if you didn't have a scientific calculator, And we were those kids. Like, listen, your bag is there, the calculator is there.
Yeah.
Let's just take it, you know,
100%.
you know, that type of thing. So we ended up selling calculators. We used to go to the library and literally tear off a page of the book with the school stamp on it and sell that to the kids, because you had to have the school stamp to leave the school. So
Yeah.
you used to write a letter and then you had a stamp.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of the principal's approval to let you leave school, basically.
That's wild.
So that's kind of like the early journeys of, you know, where it started. And then always been like in sales, you know. And up till today, you see all of the glory, but the story behind it
Yeah.
is sales. No matter what I do, I can be in digital, I can be AMG Lords, whoever I am.
Yeah.
The bottom line of whatever I do, it always boils down to sales. You know, it's always, what am I selling? I'm always trying to sell something.
100%.
You know, and that's kind of like the premise
Yeah.
of my life. It's just based on sales.
100%. And like, at like what age did you start though? Like, I mean, yeah, you said, I mean, obviously, yeah, we know the stories about in school and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but like a proper hustle, like outside of school.
Outside
like-
of school.
But I think what we will mention is a lot of the people won't know is that you didn't actually.
Nah, so I'm a high school dropout, and I'm not ashamed to say it, and my kids
Yeah.
know that as well. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but I dropped out of school I failed standard 9 like miserably, and I had more rings than Sonic. You know, I was like failing every single subject back then.
Jeez.
Second year into standard 9 and halfway grade 11, as they call it now, halfway through the year, I'm just like, I need a job. I get a job for school break, holiday.
You start hustling.
My parents are like, listen, it's first day, it's back to school, it's third term. I'm like, hey, listen, I got a job. There's no need for me to go back. And they understood. I told them, I'm not doing anything. I'm literally going to embarrass you guys because I'm not passing.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate enough to like have parents that like supported me and be like, okay, cool, you'll find your journey. You know, school is not meant for you.
Yeah.
It's fine. You'll find your rhythm.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, God's will, you'll find your way.
100%.
And that was it. Like, so I left school, standard 9, started working in like town CBD as a catering person, even did jobs as like a waiter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the first hustle job that I did. Went on like the first successful job, if I can call it that. What really set me apart was becoming a mailman. So worked in the mailroom for UTI.
Yeah.
Bro, and when I say the thing that drove me to success was because when I used to deliver that mail, I delivered it to people that were more successful than, obviously more successful than me, you know. And it was like a lot of people that were not that much older than me, but they were already working like office jobs, and they had like this persona like, hey, I'm the guy, like, you know, I studied and we got these jobs and it is what it is, you know. And I was the mail guy delivering mail to
100%.
them, and I was like, nah, this life is not meant for me. I'm not meant for this. Like, I know I can sell something, just give me the chance.
Yeah.
Not long after that, I got a job in a call center in Midrand, bro, and that's where literally everything just like skyrocketed. You know, just that was
remember you
back
telling
in
me about that
2002, and it was like for $30 an hour.
Jeez.
Yeah, $30 an hour. And my mailroom job, that was like 1,000 rand a month. So you're leaving this $1,000 a month job, and you're going now to get like 5 grand.
Yeah.
The crazy part about this, like every Thursday night you would get paid, and we worked selling consumer surveys to the UK. So you would basically start work at like, I think at 11 or 12 in the afternoon and finish like at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Bro, it was so crazy at some point. We would literally wait till like 11:30, 11:40 to leave work because your money would only clear at 12 o'clock.
That's crazy.
Friday morning because you had no funds.
You see, that's gems, bro. And I think a lot of people won't even know that because they look
100%.
at what you have now, and they don't understand like the years and those foundation type of blocks that you had to put in place.
Yeah.
To actually get, because it teaches us something. And I think like now, the company that you own now, we'll talk about a bit about that as well. Like people think like it just started last year and now you became the successful person and you started getting all of these things, and they don't understand that how much time and effort it actually goes into building a company.
Yeah.
So the company that you own now, what company is that?
So what happened was just a little bit of a backstory behind that. Like, so after the call center job, moved around a little bit within call center environments, and then I decided, I want something in media. I just had a love for like TV and movies. I want to work in media. So I get this job, I apply. My daughter's born. A week after she's born, I get a call from a company called Johnny,
Yeah.
which is the home of the Sunday Times.
Yeah.
I get a call and they say, listen, Naim, we want you to come in for the interview. Go for the interview. Shot, I'm successful, get the job. Crazy part about this, and this is like hell of a crazy. I get the job and they're like, okay, cool, you've got the job. Where's your matric certificate? Please bring all the paperwork on Monday when you start. I'm like, I didn't say I have matric.
Yeah.
I said I applied for matric and I attempted matric. I didn't say I passed it. So I attempted it.
Wow.
Yeah. And the contract is signed. Contract is signed and they were like, okay, listen, they spoke to the managers and they were like, okay, give this boy a chance. I'm 21.
Yeah.
21, 22. Give this boy a chance. Let's see what he can do. Bro, not even 6 months down the line, I'm winning an award for like the best salesperson for the Times daily newspaper that's
always
I will post a photo of it just in case people think I'm lying.
That's cool.
Yeah, so and then that was like back in 2007. 2008, the digital era starts. And they were like, listen, Times Media or the Sunday Times, we're creating a digital division. News 24 is like miles and miles apart already. I'm like, listen, I want to work for this. I see it, it's the future. Let me jump on top of this. You're talking about 2007, 2008?
Yeah.
Might not seem that far away, but it was, bro. Like the digital era just literally evolves
100%.
every second.
100%.
And then I just moved into digital, and ever since then grew within Times Media. About 8 years ago, I was the head of digital for the Times Media Group sales division.
Yeah.
And then I just decided, you know what, I need to take a leap of faith. Things at work was like going south for me.
Yeah.
I was the rainmaker. I was making like proper money for this company, you know, and I just decided, right, I've reached the roof. Sky's the limit here. I've reached the limit, you know, but there's so much more out there.
100%.
And I just started off and I said, listen, let me just branch out. I approached a few people, did like some freelancing for them.
Yeah.
Fast forward to like 7 years later, and we're here.
And the company is called?
So based off my surname, Imam Media.
Yeah.
So yeah, just played around with it, and you'll see like my logo on my company is a hand, and the hand signifies growth. Like if you reach out for something, you'll be able to achieve it.
That's powerful.
Like keep your hands in your pocket and you'll never get anything. Reach out for it and you're gonna get it. Like a lot of people don't know that story.
Wild.
Like what the hand symbolizes for me.
I heard it like when we first met, like you told me what it was, and then now I'm hearing it again, and it's like it hits so hard because the logo actually signifies something. Like this is the water, so branded Imam Media water. So we got that. But I think it's such like, man, like, you know, I can speak to you whenever I see you. We sit and talk for like 2 hours before I leave. Because I think your story is very inspirational. I know a lot of people who agree with it that already know you, and it's just mad motivational. You know, like to hear how you started now, and a lot of people are, you know, that know of you but don't know you. It's a very big difference. They know of you if they've seen you, but they don't know your backstory, and that's a lot of the questions that I've been getting. I know when I shot the first video you were here at your house, where I started speaking again, and we did it in the sneaker room, and everybody was hitting me up like, who's this guy? Who's this guy? Like, you know, where does he get his sneakers from and stuff? Because I mean, like, how many pairs of shoes do you have in the room? Over 120?
Yeah, I think it's like close to like 150 now.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, that's a bit wild. Gee, that's
you know, the funny thing is, like, I wasn't like we all like when we grew up in this era where if you wore an All-Star, you wore a Converse, you were hundreds. You know, back in the 90s, early 2000s, Jordans was always there. You know, it was always like a big thing, right?
Yeah.
But if you come from Lenasia South Secondary, where we all went to school, bro, honestly, if you rocked a white All-Star or you had a Jack Purcell, you were hundreds. Nobody looked at you funny. You didn't have to flex and say, hey, I wore a Jordan highs or mids, or Air Force Ones, or you wore like fakes or knockoffs, nothing against them. But if you wore like a standard pair of All-Stars and Jack Purcells, bro, it was what you could afford, what your parents could afford, and we all dressed the same.
100%.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with it. None of us flexed against each other about like, nah, bro, you're wearing this or you're wearing that. Why you not wearing a Jordan high? Now if you're wearing a Jordan, it's an off-white. Like, why are you wearing this one? Why didn't you buy a UNC? Or why are you wearing a mid? You know, like, just wear what you want to wear. If you feel comfortable in it, rock it. Like, you know.
I love that. Off-white Chicago's. Heavy.
You had to
Heavy.
pick on it.
Heavy. Because, like, I think so many people, like, money aside,
Yeah.
I think people get so attached to the value of a shoe that they actually forget the love of the shoe.
Yeah.
And why they bought it. So, like, now you wearing Off-white Chicago's. These are, like, upwards of 150,000 rand.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe around there now.
Yeah, 150 and up, you know, obviously, and things like that. So it's not a cheap shoe.
Yeah.
Not to say that, you know, anyone can have it, but not a lot of people that have it actually wear it.
Yeah.
Because they want to treasure it. It's the business side of things, which is fair.
Yeah.
At the same time, but like it's so nice to see, you know, you wearing it, you know, you wearing the shoes and stuff like that, because you don't really see that, you know.
So I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a sneakerhead. I'm not like a diehard person. Like where I'm gonna keep it. I have a lot of boxes from you.
Yeah.
But like, bro, like honestly, I would wear my Travis Scott's out in the desert. If
Yeah.
I'm going out with my family and I feel it goes with my jeans and my skipper or whatever it
Yeah,
may be, I would
100%.
wear that. Like I'm not that guy that no, don't crease your shoe, don't wear it, keep it like this. I look after it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I make sure it's clean. Ethan takes care of me in terms of
Yeah.
you know, picks up my sneakers whenever I have to and it's well taken care of. But like I wear it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just fortunate enough that I don't get to wear one shoe more than twice. Like
Yeah.
you very seldom you'll see me wearing the same sneaker in the week.
Yeah.
More than
Because
once.
you have a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And like who, I think another question, even though we're leaving some questions to the end, like one of the questions is like, who plugs you with sneakers? Like I know it's Ethan.
Yeah, so Ethan's been my boy like ever since, man. You know, he was, I think like 15 or 16 and he was cleaning sneakers and he came to me and says, hey, Uncle Nams, you know, this is the story. There's these sneakers that's dropping and what do you think about it? I'm like, okay, it's cool. Like, you know, I was just starting, making
Yeah.
a little bit of money. And I said, okay, cool. Like, what do you need? And he said, like, cool, let's go and buy a few pairs and we'll resell it. Dude, fast forward to now, and he was the devil in disguise, if you want to call him that. Because I went literally from 2018, 2019
Yeah.
to having from 2 pairs of Jordans.
Yeah.
Fast forward to 2023 and I'm sitting with 150 pairs. So I don't have a lifespan of sneakers that I can tell you, hey, you know, I had this from the time I was growing up, or I've always had these sneakers. I've always inspired and always had this aspirational to have nice sneakers and nice things, but wasn't fortunate enough to have them back then. So when the opportunity came, it was just like, buy whatever I can, you know, and
Yeah.
as quick as possible. So Ethan plugs me quite a bit. Mzansi's Most Wanted, Josh, Court Order guys. So there's so many people, man, you know.
Yeah.
It'd be wrong for me to actually mention them
Yeah.
because there's so many people I buy from
Yeah.
that I'll be missing. So whoever has something cool, I try and support everybody where I can.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, yo, but shout out Ethan, Southside Streetwear. And
Yeah.
the reason why I'm giving him a shout out is because when I first started Kickcraft, he was my first big buyer of boxes. He bought 12 boxes for
Yeah.
me. It was the first big order that I got.
I promise you, and 2 of those boxes I bought from him.
Yeah, 100%.
And I didn't even know you back
No,
then.
100%. And I respect that so much because he bought 12 boxes for me, and you know, he did his thing with it and stuff, and I have total respect for
No,
that.
hardcore hustle is definitely
he's
one to
always
look out for.
supported. I've done the cherry blossom box for him and stuff. He's always given me the opportunities, and at that age, like you know, not to single anyone else out, like I mean, I've dealt with we've done work with a lot of people, but now we're talking about your plug, which
Yeah.
is Ethan Southside. And I have a really good relationship with him also, and yeah, he's a standout guy, man. But yeah, I'm gonna put up a picture of your sneaker room now, so
Yeah.
you guys can check that out. It's a little clip, sneaker room, 150 pairs, the whole lot of figurines in there. We'll get into that
Yeah.
now also, figurines and stuff. So that's pretty crazy. So yeah, I hope you guys dig that sneaker room, man. That's a bit wild. So I think now we're gonna get into some of the other stuff, the cars. I know a lot of people like the cars. They saw the famous El Patron, AMG Lords, the Rangers, the C63s,
Yeah.
the bagged golf carts. It's mad. So I remember the first AMG Lord was the ML63.
Yeah, the ML63.
That was that where the plate was, and then you got the G63.
No, so AMG Lord, that was first the G63. Al Patron first was on the ML63.
Oh yes, I remember that.
So that was on the ML63, and then I sold that, and that plate was like kind of like hanging around for a bit, and then we decided we went for German versus Jab last year, not this year, last year, 2022.
Yeah.
And we went, and my kids are like, "Oh, look at this car," and I said, "That's not like I can build a car." And they're like, "Yeah, but you know you like your new Benz." I said, "Okay, let me show you."
Yeah.
So we hunted down 560, always been my dream. I just love the look, the lines, the curves, the way the car sits. And I said, look, this is the one, let me see what we can do. And to go this year, fast forward to 2023, take it for German versus Jab this year, and we win best air. So we take a prize. So I'm like, my kids, you see.
But that's mad. That car is like, I remember when you first got the car, you showed me an Instagram picture. This is when I was telling Renee, I was like, hey, this guy is wild, because you showed me a picture on Instagram and you're like, this is what I want to do. I was like, okay, cool. A week later, you showed me you bought the car. The green, it was green.
Yeah.
It still is green, but you bought the car. And I was like, wild. Then you were like, you just need to get somebody to build a rim for it. And I'm like, that's heavy.
Yeah.
Right? And then in like 2 weeks' time, you're like, you know what? You were going to Turkey.
I was going to Dubai.
You were going to Dubai.
This year, Feb.
Yes, you were going to Dubai. You were going to Dubai. And you're like, no, when we're back from Dubai, the car should be finished, then we'll do a shoot with the car and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, I was so excited. I was like, cool. And then you keep sending me like updates and pictures, and I'm like, jeez. And then the end result, this thing is mad. Like, I haven't seen a SEC 560 like that. I think like the publicity that it's getting, like, it's just crazy, but it's such a sick car. Like,
I think it went international standards on this one year, and I'm not saying that because it's my car. It really, I mean, Farid's also most likely tired of me by now. Like, we keep on pushing each other to like do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And the quality of work that comes out of him, like, I'm his biggest fan,
Yeah.
The work that he does for me, it's just insane, and
Yeah.
I have confidence. Like, listen, here's my car. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And literally, he knows when he's building my car, I don't ever see it. Whether it's the G-Wagon, whether it's the Ranger, I tell him what I want. And every time I have to drop off something, whether it's the steering or whether it's a badge or anything, he makes me wait outside. I'm not allowed in the workshop.
Yeah.
He's like, listen, Naim, you'll see it when the car is done.
Yeah,
I trust him.
I did the same thing when we did his box.
Yeah.
I told him that it's done, and I asked him if he wants to see it. And then I told him, no, I'll show it to you when I come.
Yeah, a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah. Hey, yo, so shout out Perfection Customs. They the company that built the Naeem's SEC 560, the bagged one. They've also wrapped the G63.
The G6, like literally
all
everything in my stable.
The golf cart.
The golf cart.
What did they do to the golf cart?
So now it's still there. We resprayed it as well. We blacked out everything.
Yeah.
Took off all the chrome. So we blacked that out. We bagged it, cleaned it up a bit. We're putting like tire lettering. So it's next level.
Yeah.
Absolutely next level.
So what's in the fleet? So you got the SEC 560, you got the G63, you got the C63, you got the Ranger.
Yeah, now it's the Raptor. So the Ranger is getting sold. The Raptor.
So you'll sell the Ranger. Now you got the Raptor, which is going to get done soon. You just put wheels on it today, which is wild.
Yeah.
The Raptor, you got the Superbike, and you got the golf cart.
The golf cart, yeah.
And you got a chopper bicycle that's on the way to.
So yeah, we're still building that. So it's almost done.
And they're all black.
Everything's black.
So guys, Naeem likes black cars. He has a black fleet of cars.
The thing is with black, it's like you have to pay attention to it. It's like my cars get washed every week. I hardly use them. I only use the buckies and the van like every single day. The G-Wagon and the C63, they literally come out of the garage every Thursday, Friday. It gets washed. It gets put in the garage. It gets pulled out again.
Yeah.
If I'm not going anywhere, it comes back out on a Thursday or Friday, gets washed, and gets pushed back. Same with the 560.
No, that's
exact
nice.
Same thing.
That's nice. And like, it's crazy. Like I've used the cars so many times for my shoots.
Yeah.
Like for Kickcraft, I know the first merch shoot that I did with a friend of mine, we did it here and stuff like that. and there's still so much more that that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. Like, the cars are wild. So I'm gonna show you guys a picture of the SEC 560. If you haven't seen it, this is the picture. I'll put it up on the screen now. We'll check out the G63 and stuff as well. I'll just put a clip because we've done some clips.
Quite a few.
But it's upgrading so much. So I must actually take a picture of it, because now you got the G63 and you started. Every time I see it, there's another piece of kit on it. There's another Brabus part on it. So yeah, so you got the whole Brabus.
So it's full kitted out with the Brabus kit, the bonnet scoop, roof lights, front grille, front spoiler. Basically everything is Brabus.
Triple
now
black.
Yeah.
Triple black. Black inside, black outside, black wheels. Triple black.
100%.
That's crazy. So I'll show you guys that also, and I'll also tag the AMG Lords page. I'll put the AMG Lords page up because Naeem actually owns AMG Lords.
Yeah, Mzansi BMW and Mzansi Luxury.
Yeah, those three.
So collectively, including like my personal page, I've got like about 400,000 followers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So not to like flex or anything, but
yes,
I'm
sir.
what you would call an influencer. By
No,
now.
let's get it. You know what I mean? Like, for sure. So no, that's perfect. So let's just show out this, and then we'll jump into the figurines. Part of that, and the games and things.
Yeah.
So hope you guys dig the cars. I mean, those are some crazy cars. So we're gonna do a bit of a switch here because there's so many nice rooms. We're actually shooting the podcast at Naim's place, at his house, on the balcony, upstairs, like on the rooftop type of balcony. But since there's so many rooms, and since we're gonna be talking about figurines and so on, we're just gonna make a jump, and we're gonna do the second part of this podcast in the games room. Yeah, so guys, I think the second segment of the podcast I chose to do in Naeem's game room. So this is crazy. What size TV is this?
I think it's a 65.
No,
75.
I think it's a 75 or 80 inch.
No, it's actually 85. I think
85.
Yeah, somewhere.
And then you got the Nintendo.
Yeah, man. It's like it's things that I've always wanted when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We're coming from that place where we've always wanted stuff. We've always seen things, and how do you get it? You've always like things like in the movies, watching Home Alone or Richie Rich, or you're watching, just stuff that, how do I have this when I'm grown up? And I kind of like live my life through my son's eyes now, because I use him as my scapegoat. Like, hey, Dad, can we have this shot? Say no more. Because I wanted more than him, actually.
Yeah.
The same goes with the holidays, like just taking away from the game room. Like when we go on holidays, I think me and my wife, we're having a better holiday than the kids, because they don't know how much we actually wanted this.
Yeah.
Growing up, all you could do was go to Dubs, that was your holiday. And that too, you jumping in my dad's truck, or you're going in Jay's taxi or Rasul's or Mohan's, not even in the bus, you're going in the taxi to Dubs with your brown suitcase, and you're having a holiday at your aunts and uncles, whatever it is. And that was a holiday. So now going on holiday and you say, listen, we're going to Dubai and you're going to Disneyland. Bro, that was like a complete dream. Things that was not even attainable back then.
100%. And I think even myself, like for your last two trips, or two of your trips and my trips, it was like we went to Turkey at the same time.
Yeah.
You and I think you were in Turkey, I was in Turkey. We went to the same places. You stayed at some really cool places, and then I was in Turkey. So that, and then in December, or starting of this year, Renee and I were like, you know what? We're gonna go to Paris.
Yeah.
And then I told you, and you were like, you're also planning on going to Paris, school holiday time. So I'm like, okay, dope.
Yeah.
So you went, I think it was a week before
before we got back, a week after you left.
Yeah, 100%. And when we said Disneyland, and I think, when you think of these things, bro, like it's wild because, to some people it's accessible and it's like a normal thing.
Yeah.
Like to go to Disneyland and stuff. And for us, it was like a huge thing because me, like I'm a straight hustler. Like I started out like a long time, well, not a long time, but like 6-7 years ago, like 7 years ago. And I did this internship with a company, and I started my stuff from there, the videos and things like that. That's where I learned the stuff. But this was all a dream.
All a dream.
Like, I never knew it would be possible in this amount of time. Like, when you see Disneyland, you're like, oh, one day. And you know what humbled me to a point is, look, let's be honest, we get a big head sometimes and we flex and stuff. But what humbled me when I was in Paris this year is when we're in Disneyland and we go to the Eiffel Tower. And okay, we went to Italy and Paris, you went to London and Paris. And when we were there, it's like people all around the world went there.
Yeah.
It was people from America, it was people from Brazil, it was people from China, Japan, India. It wasn't just South Africans.
Yeah.
So what got me to a point where I was like, you know what? Like, it was actually so unreal. It's like, those destinations are dreams for people all around the world.
Oh, 100%.
Not just South Africans.
Yeah.
And that's what got me to a point where I just really sit back. And we were at the Eiffel Tower the one night before it sparkled, and I was sitting there and I was like, geez, you know what? Like, it's crazy because this is a dream for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It's not just South Africans.
Yeah.
It's not just because it's expensive for us to afford, but it's a dream for everyone around the world.
It's a childhood dream, I think, across the board, like for everybody that has a vision of like, one day I'm going to travel. Look, it doesn't inspire everybody. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, some people will be like, why are you posting this so much? Like, we don't want to see Disneyland. But there's a whole lot of us that grew up in this era that was like the Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and the cartoon era. And it's not that, hey, I'm too gangster for this. It's just that, listen, we come from that era where we all grew up watching cartoons 7 o'clock in the morning, or KTV and Yo TV.
Yeah.
And, so we all grew up from this era where that was all that we had. That was all the entertainment that we had. We weren't spoiled for choice, where you had PS5s and Nintendo Switches and game rooms and DJ sets and all of those things. You had SABC and Mnet if you were lucky or fortunate, and that was it. So you sat in front of the TV, you played outside, and that was about it, So when you're saying, listen, I can actually go to this, because you saw it in TV, you saw it in movies, kids having a good time, and you were like, one day I want to have this.
Yeah.
And if that's not your inspiration, or you're not inspiring to be that or go there, then good for you. Don't come down on us, because that's what we want to do. 100%. And I find that a lot, like a lot of my posts will be traveling and somebody will always have something negative to say. And you can see it in the comments or in the way they speak. When you meet them, it's like, but you shouldn't have done that. You should have done that. It's my journey. You have your journey. When you're going on yours, you go your path and I'll go mine.
You couldn't have said it better. And it's the same thing with me. Like, I don't know, this might be or might sound like a flex, but whatever it sounds like, that's what it is. So, like, for me, like, before I went, like, so many people told me, like, oh, but don't go to Paris. Like, why are you going there? It's so dirty and it's so this. Like, I'm like, bruh, like, at the end of the day, let me give you an example, right? If you go to Durban, you stay in the hood, and you stay in Amslanga, it's still Durban, but you're going to have two very different experiences. So it's up to you. Like,
100%.
But don't try to put somebody else off like, but firstly, do I ask these people, did you go there?
Have you been there?
Like, because now they're looking at TikTok videos where people, like, I know this whole thing was trending, like, where it's like saying it's giving Zimbabwe, because the guys are selling things around the Eiffel Tower. Like, I didn't experience that. Like, where I stayed and stuff. Look, I'm not saying I stayed at the, you stayed at the Pullman, which was mad, right? And when you showed me your view, I was telling Renee, I'm like, geez, like, how do we level up and get this? Because I was like, yo,
But it doesn't matter. I mean, you're still there, like you said.
Yeah.
You still have the same experience.
100%.
If you're going somewhere and you have the mindset that I'm not going to enjoy this place, you're not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because already you're leaving with the mindset that this place is not like that. Go in, and if you're going to travel and if you're going to visit somewhere, go in with an open mind.
Yeah.
Go in and say, listen, I'm going there. I'm spending my hard-earned money. I'm going to have the best time that I can have.
Yeah.
Unless obviously things go really south and you have no choice and the place might not be lacquer, then it is what it is. But in most cases, go there, have a lacquer time, make the best of it. Don't go there and sit in the hotel room and sulk about the room is not like this, or the place is dirty and there's people coming to sell me stuff. There's people selling things everywhere.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We're selling things every day.
Yeah, 100%. That's the hustle. And
that's the hustle.
That.
Like, appreciate it, because if you go to the souvenir store, you're going to pay double the price. Maybe support the guy, buy once and just be like,
Yeah.
"Shop, I've got
And
something."
you know
it's the
what?
experience of talking to them.
Exactly. And you know what's the funny part? All the people that's talking nonsense about this is probably the same people that's buying the souvenirs from these people on the street.
Exactly.
Because they're trying to save
Because you're
money.
not going to going to Paris and going to Disneyland, you're paying like €100 for a Mickey Mouse cap. Go around the corner and the same guy that you're dissing is selling that cap for €10.
The same
now you're
cap.
buying it because you want to flex and be like,
Exactly.
"Hey, I bought this from Disney." No, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought it from Disney.
Yeah, exactly.
You the one that's trash talking the place.
Exactly.
You know?
100%. And, talking about Disney, and that's why, it ties in with the room and stuff. I know you've always been into like figurines. I'm not going to pretend like it's something that I know about and it's a
Yeah.
market that I know about. It's very unfamiliar to me. But I look at all the figurines and stuff that you have, and I think it's so crazy. But like, what's the figurines about? Like, what's the most valuable one that you have?
So there's a few. I mean, like from a sentimental point of value, which I kind of put like that across everything that I have. There's not one more valuable car or not one more valuable timepiece that I have. It's just what I've worked the hardest for and what got me to start it all.
Powerful.
I mean, I've got like a lot of watches, for example.
Yeah.
But the most valuable one for me is my Omega watch. But the
Yeah.
funny thing is, it's the cheapest of them.
Yeah.
But when I say valuable, it's one of the first watches that I've bought. And when I bought that watch, it was like, yo, am I making the right move here? Yo, what if something happens to this watch? What if I get robbed? What if somebody steals it? Why did I spend so much on this watch? And it's not even compared to a Rolex or my Breitling or whatever it is. But you're buying an Omega and it was like, oh, what if I need that money for rent? What if I need that money for bread and milk?
100%.
You ask yourself all these questions. Am I making a stupid move?
Yeah.
And it was, for me, that was like pushing boundaries, and it constantly made me feel like, okay, you can break that. You don't live in somebody else's stereotype.
Yeah.
Like don't think about the worst that can happen. What if it was the cheapest watch that you could have bought? And you could have bought a Rolex back then.
Yeah.
A Rolex back then would have been like 200K. Now it's about 700 grand.
That's wild.
I'm just using that as an example. But the same thing goes with your life and the car that you buy. What if you can do better? Why stop there?
Yeah.
God's put this thing in you, this vision. If you're going to start the podcast, don't buy the mic that's $500. Go a little bit further. I'm not saying go and break the bank and do something
100%.
really stupid, but you can go a little bit further because that might pay for something. The quality might differentiate where you are from really setting the boundaries from the amateur guy that's really doing it. And look at the quality of stuff that you're producing, from your video quality to your images, now to the podcast. You take time and effort, but if you had like an entry level, it takes you just 10 steps back.
Yeah.
You're still going to get there,
100%.
but you're the one that's putting yourself 10 steps back, if that makes sense.
100%. And that's absolutely true. But like, when you first showed me the Iron Man mask, and I just want to show that quickly. So I think that this Iron Man mask is just insane. Like, I didn't know, because I always used to see it online and like, like see it open and stuff. So did you import that?
So that one I bought, I use a guy by the name of Zappa Gaming. I buy also again, I try and support like everybody. I've got those things like, if I see something cool, I don't have like one set person. It's unfortunate, but that's who I am.
Yeah.
If somebody I see making sneaker boxes and if it's something cool, I'll be like, sure, I'm going to support them. It's not because you're not my boy anymore and I don't want to support you. It's just that guy is also doing something cool, and it just gives you the opportunity now to level up and say, okay, cool. Now this is what I want to do. I'm going to be doing this and just support people,
I love that.
And I see value in a lot of things. I'm like sometimes scared to like walk into a store because I'll always try and find something to buy. And I look for like the smallest things, whether it's a small figurine or whatever it may be. I always look for something cool. But just going back to like my most valuable one, I would think it's Rocky.
Yeah, I remember we said that because when I shot the video for, what was it? I showed you a sneaker room in one of the boxes that I done, and you highlighted out the Rocky.
So Rocky, more than it just being a figurine, I think it's just a character that like my whole family, like my kids love Rocky. We love Rocky. We love Sylvester Stallone just because of his character and where he comes from.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to say I can relate to Rocky, but it's like he's the underdog.
Yeah.
Nobody was wishing for him to do well.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted Rocky to be the better boxer, but he came out on top and he came out winning.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why, like, that figurine was one of the first ones that I've bought, and by far my most valuable. Not the most expensive.
Yeah.
There's a few in here that's really, really crazy.
Yeah.
Some of them like really range in prices, but yeah, Rocky more valuable for me.
No, that's so sick, man. And I mean, there's so much that we can talk about. I think the next one, like I've shot a video in, is the cinema room.
Yeah.
Did you build the cinema room? Was it in the plan of the house? Because I know I came to you. Me and you started speaking before you actually even got this house.
Yeah.
Before you moved into
Yeah.
the house, rather. And afterwards, like when I first started coming to you, I started doing some work and stuff. And then you said you're building a cinema room.
Yeah.
And I was like, geez. And when I actually saw the finished result, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
And I heard it.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, it's something to have a cinema room, but like the sound, like I'm a sound guy.
Yeah.
I like
100%.
sound. Like, you
So
know,
you'd
I
appreciate it more.
like audio. And when you played this for me, and I was like, I don't think I can go to a normal cinema again.
Yeah, it's very difficult because, like me, myself personally, when I go to the movies, I'm constantly nagging. Like, there's no astros, there's no whispers. I have all of that. I'm not like flexing or anything, but I've stocked out my cinema room or my lounge with all of those cool stuff. You know,
Yeah.
things that I want and things that I want to be comfortable with. And I saw a video of Floyd Mayweather, like way back when, and he walks into the cinema room and he goes and he grabs his sneakers and chocolates and candy, whatever it is, and he goes and he's standing in front of this huge screen. Not on that level yet, but who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe when I build my next house.
That's crazy. And then after you built a cinema room, you built like a private cinema lounge next to it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's great. You check out Naeem's page. I'll put it up now. His Instagram page. There's a lot of the videos on there. He's posted some of them. Some really cool stuff. Mad cinema room, cinema lounge. I've shot a video in there for the Louis Vuitton box that lights up. The other lounge outside the cinema room is where I shot the Chanel box. We were going to a pretty hard time just, you know, trying to find out or figure out where we're going to actually do this podcast, because there's literally 7-8 places we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lacquer place.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I love coming here. I think for me, you know, being somebody that's starting out and, you know, trying to get my hustle on, you know, seeing things like this is, it's inspirational, man. It's motivational. And a lot of people that haven't even seen this, they just know the cars and the way you speak.
Yeah.
And they already inspired and stuff. And this is crazy.
I think, you know, I'm a homeboy. I'm always with my family. I'm always at home.
Yeah.
You know, so for me, it was like when I had the opportunity, and by God's grace, that opportunity came to me where I can move out and leave where I was brought up. I moved to, you know, this estate, and I built my dream home. You know, I got it to a point where it was already like 70% done, but I said, stop the search. This is the house that I want. It was already a shell. And then we just added our final touches, you know, from the kitchen to the patio. And the cinema room wasn't even there. It was already built. It was covered up. And when I came and I saw the house the first time, I said, I'm in love with this house. I love the house. The only thing missing from here is a cinema. And the guy said, listen, hold up. Underground, there's something, but it's going to take like a lot of work, because we've got to like literally from the floor going like a couple meters high, it was covered. There's a few things that we can do, but it's possible. Fast forward to like 2022, we started the project. And yeah, I mean, you'll show a bit of the end project of what it's like. But yeah, it's like a dream come true. Honestly, you either inspired or you envy me.
Yeah.
It's one of two things. There's no in between when it comes to people around me. It's either like, shot, Naim, we want to be better than you. Don't be like me, be better than me. Like I'm saying, I'm a high school dropout. You know, there's so much more that people can do out there. You just have to reach for it. Like I said, my logo. Just take your hand and reach out. Whether it's asking for help, whether it's trying your own thing, whatever it is, just reach out. There's always more.
Yeah.
Don't be content with what you have.
I love that. That's
There's
powerful,
more.
brother. That's powerful.
And
I wanna,
it's not being ungrateful. There's a very big difference.
yeah, I love this.
You know, like
yeah,
there's a
let's
very
do
big
this.
difference with saying, listen, I have the off-white, but I want more. Why can't I have more? It's not that I'm being ungrateful or I don't appreciate what I have. It's just that there's more out there.
Yeah.
I want to see more. If that's who you are, sure. Go to Durban, go to Cape Town, don't leave the country, don't leave your home.
Yeah.
A few weeks back, somebody commented on one of my Facebook posts and was like having a go at me because I posted my house 10 years ago
Yeah, I saw
versus
that.
my
Very
house now.
inspirational, yeah.
It's either you can be inspired or it's not for you. If that's not for you and you're happy with your car, then you should be happy with your bus. A bus can also take you from A to B. I don't want to be that guy. I told you when we first met, I'm going to drive a Lambo. One day I will drive a Lambo.
Yes, sir.
I will
yes,
drive
sir.
a Lambo.
100%.
It might not be tomorrow, it might not be in 5 years, but one day I will drive a Lambo because I'm
100%.
telling myself
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. Nobody around me can say, Naim, you're not going to drive a
Yeah.
Lambo. I myself, I'm saying, and that's the benchmark.
Yeah.
It's not because there's a lot better than a Lambo. There's Ferrari, but for me, it's just kind of like that's the benchmark. When I say a Lambo, it doesn't matter. It's within that price range.
Yeah.
It's what's within a 5 bar price range.
100%. And I love this. And you know, I changed my Instagram name on Instagram. It's still Shaylen24, but I changed my Instagram name to Shay the Savage.
Yeah.
Because I like saying stuff that's unfiltered. And you touched on something that sits very close to me, is because I'm not at that level, your level yet, but I'm getting there. And for me, it's like, for people who talk nonsense like that,
Yeah.
it's like they've accepted that they're lazy. It's simply what it
Yeah.
is. It's laziness. You don't want to make the effort, so you're trying to make sense of giving up.
No, 100%. And the most common thing you'll hear is like, no, I work hard for my kids. Work hard for yourself.
Like 100%.
Work hard for yourself.
And
The kids are going to be there. I give my kids the best that I can.
Yeah.
And the best that I feel that I can do.
Yeah.
But I work hard for myself.
Yeah.
I can't always give them what they want. I've got to give, and believe me, I'm the kid as well.
Yeah.
I'm the kid that never had the stuff that my kids have.
Yeah.
So I also have to give myself the opportunity to love. If that makes
100%.
sense.
Like, and that's insane. And like, for me, it sits very close to me, because for me, it's a very strong topic, because it doesn't sit well with me. I don't like being around people that are lazy. I don't like being around people that make excuses. I don't associate with people who don't want more for themselves.
Yes. And then the main thing there is those people they're constantly blaming somebody.
Yeah.
And it's always excuses.
Yeah.
You know, another example is, I was building those cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Shay, you know me better than a lot of people.
Yeah.
And you would be like, Naim, you bought cassettes. You're going to sell this for like 50 bucks or 70 rand. You have a G-Wagon. You have this house. You have all of these things, watches, whatever it is. Why would you want to make 50 bucks? It's not about that. The reason I bought that was to show my kids. So a backstory on that, like just for the people that don't know. Looking for cassettes for the SEC, because I've kept it retro. It's got a cassette player. Looking for cassettes, and I scroll upon this person on Facebook Marketplace, and I see 100,000 cassettes for sale, going for 15 grand. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm really interested. This is in March, April. We were still fasting. It's like 9-10 o'clock at night. And I take a chance and I message the lady and I say, hey, listen, I'm keen. Is this still available? She's like, yeah, it's available. I can do a better price. I said, no, I'm not asking for a better price. I just want to know, is it available? Bro, I promise you, it's at 10 o'clock at night. By the time we woke up for Seri, which was like the breakfast during the fasting month, by the time we woke up that morning, I had a full-on business plan. I already briefed in my designer on what the images must look like, what the website must look like, what the thank you letter must look like. And I woke up and I told my wife, listen, guess what I did? And whenever I tell her that, she's like, Naim, what did you do now? Because I'm that extra guy. You know? And she's like, what did you do now? And I'm like, listen, I bought 100,000 cassettes.
Jeez.
It's like, what are you going to do? 100,000 cassettes. Where are you going to keep it? What are you going to do with it? And I said, no, listen, check here. I was on Pinterest and I found all these ideas. But it's not even about the money. It's not even about the money or selling that shit. It's just about my kids must know from 15 grand, I'm going to turn that. And if you take 50K, 15 grand, about 100,000 cassettes, each one of those pen holders takes 4 cassettes, right?
Yeah.
Divide that by 4, it's 25. So I've got 25,000 cassettes. 25,000 cassettes times $50. It's over 1 million rand. My
That's
cost
cool.
on that will be about 5 rand. Let's call it even 10 rand. Even if I make 400,000 rand profit on that, I've already sold that cassettes. I sold 300 at 15K. I've made my money. But I don't want my kids growing up saying, no, but there's no opportunities for us. I spent 15 grand, but you could have spent 1,500 grand. And you could have flipped that and made 6 grand. That 6 grand would have made you 12 grand.
You see.
And so on and so on.
That's
You get
it.
what I'm saying?
You see, that's like
It's not even about, it wasn't about the money. I don't even have to sell the cassettes. It's just the thinking. I want my kids to be not like only dreaded in school. It's not because I'm a high school dropout that school is not important, but it's not the only thing.
100%.
Maths and science and what Vasco da Gama and Jan van Riebeck did has nothing to do with where I am today.
100%.
And the biggest misconception or the biggest alignment is for parents to align to that. Like, let your kids be a little bit free when it comes to education. I'm not saying let them drop out, but sometimes there's more out there than school. You know, not all of us are meant to be doctors and lawyers. Some of us are meant to be in sales. And by sometimes capping that, you're like not letting them express themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes art is such a big thing. I mean, we saw Sarah the other day and she's like 21, 22, and look at the stuff that she's doing.
Crazy.
I can guarantee you, like grade 10, grade 11, grade 12 didn't put her anywhere on the map in terms of doing stuff for DNG or for
100%.
YAS. Maybe she went to art school, I don't know, but I'm just saying, in terms of her schooling career, I can guarantee you a lot of people that studied today or finished school, what they're doing outside of that, they'll tell us in the comments below if I'm lying.
Yeah, 100%.
But I can guarantee you, I'll put my head on a block, that school, it's important to a certain extent. School is important to have fun, make friends, and that's about it. It's not there to educate you.
Bars.
I mean, again, it's an opinionated piece, and if you think I'm not speaking the truth, drop it in the comments and we'll argue there.
100%. 100%. We can have, maybe we should actually do a part 2.
Yeah, I'm keen, bro.
We should do a
I
part
think
2.
it's going to be very controversial in terms of maybe people not agreeing with me, people agreeing with me. Maybe we'll add somebody else that's got like an opinion against me, and we'll add them to the conversation, and we'll make it a 3-part.
Yeah, I love that.
A 3-person conversation. And
Yeah, I think that's a very good idea, because I think this needs to be a 2-part. I think I don't want to rush and talk about so much in the first just in one podcast, because we can stay here for 3 hours. We do that anyway. And so that's crazy, but it was nice. I hope you guys know a little bit more about Naeem and his backstory and how he's come up and what he's doing, what he owns, the business that he runs, and what kind of business that he's in. I'm very inspired. I'm always inspired. I know Naeem personally is a very good friend of mine. Every time I speak to him, I speak to you every day.
Yeah.
Literally every day. There's not a day that I don't message you. Whether we talk about a meme or we're talking about an idea, I've sent you
grilling
every
someone.
I've sent you every idea that I had about the podcast, about Kickcraft, the business plans, the proposals. I run it by you all the time, and I think because I trust your judgment. I'd like, you're not just a person that I feel that's gonna sugarcoat stuff because we're friends. You tell me like, listen, I think maybe we should change this, or maybe we should change that, and I love that. And I think a lot of people today don't like the criticism.
Yeah.
And they don't like being told these things, and they feel like, for me, I like it. I like the harsh truth.
Yeah.
And that's how I speak personally, right? And I think the generation that we're in today is too soft.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, it's too soft. Everything is accepted. You guys want medals and certificates for participation. It doesn't work like that.
100%.
It's win or lose.
100%.
In my book, right? It's win or lose. Yeah, we in schools now where kids are getting medals and certificates for participation and
trophies,
and for attendance. What nonsense is
No,
that?
that's
Like,
random.
And then again, also controversial. A lot of you might not agree with that and stuff, but it is what it is. Like, in how I grew up, it was win or lose. If you lost,
not everybody's a winner.
yeah, like you try harder and you come back.
Yeah.
Now you're coming last in the race and you're getting a medal.
Oh,
like
no, that's madness.
like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think the generation that we're in is too soft, and I think people need to get the harsh truth, and I think people need to be told the way it is. I saw a meme today about something, and it's like, no, I'm here to tell the truth or something. If you want it to be sugar coated, go buy a donut. And I love that. And I think, I speak what's on my mind, honestly. Obviously, when it comes to professionalism and that sort of thing, and depending on who I'm speaking to, there's certain things that, I'll just watch what I say. But generally, most of the time, I speak what's on my mind. And if people don't like it, then they don't have to follow me.
100%.
And you don't have to agree with me. It's my opinions. And I said this on my statuses on WhatsApp a lot. If you don't like my stuff, if you don't like what I say, and if you feel that it's not true what I'm saying, block my statuses and don't view it.
That's what I keep on saying. Like, people that's constantly commenting on my Facebook posts or Instagram, I'm tired of deleting them. Bro, like, honestly, unfollow me. If my lifestyle and what you see is not inspiring to you,
yeah,
you know where the door is. Don't let it hit you on the way out.
100%.
Like, I'm not forcing anybody to come and follow me or see my success story. Like I said, you can either be inspired and say, listen, this guy can do it. We all started off on the same. I had no handouts, not a single handout that was given to me to say, Naeem, here's money, go and start a business, or here's this, here's a lifeline for you. I started off with just pure hustle that made it to where I am today. And everybody's destined for greatness. Shay, if you don't believe that, then we're not even in the same circle. Everybody's destined for greatness. It's just who do you think you are and where you think you're going to be that sets you apart. If you think I don't deserve this, you're not going to deserve that. You're not going to get it because 100%. You yourself, if I don't clap for myself when I win, who's going to clap for me? I can't expect you to be happy for me.
Yeah.
I need to be happy for myself. It's just fortunate that we live in a time where people see all of the stuff around you and take that as success. What about the sleepless nights? Sometimes you and I are having a conversation at like 1, 2 in the morning.
100%.
And we're talking about the podcast and stuff that
100%.
It's not generating revenue for us right now. The boxes are not making you millions right now.
Yeah.
But the key word there is right now.
Yeah.
It
100%.
will.
Power.
It will.
Power.
But if you don't see that, you're not seeing the sleepless nights, but you flexing. You see me flex when I'm in Dubai or if I'm in Paris or London.
Yeah.
That's not the flex. You don't know the hardship that goes behind the scenes.
100%. And we had this conversation before we started the podcast, and we were talking about being around people and being selective and that sort of thing. And for me, it's like, you see, like, people don't understand, like, I'm up at 1, sometimes when I post those statuses at 1 o'clock in the morning saying, oh, you gotta hustle, something about hard work and stuff. And some people may think that I'm sitting up and I'm watching Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. If I like series, I watch an episode in the morning as soon as I wake up before I start work.
Yeah.
Right? Before I start work. 1 episode every day in the morning. That's my downtime. That's like when I wake up, I have my peace. I don't really have my phone with me most of the time. It's, next to me or whatever the case is. I'm not on Instagram, I'm not anything. I just have my time, I have my coffee, I watch my 1 episode, and that's it. I do not watch TV for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
If I'm working at night, I'm working late. If I'm editing videos, if I'm doing boxes, if I'm doing whatever, I have a YouTube mix playing, I have a speech or motivation stuff playing, and that's it. And a lot of people may see me as unsociable, or I don't like going here, and a lot of people say, oh, but Shay, you don't ever come. Like, and we had this conversation, like, if it's not putting money in my pocket, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's not only about passion. I need to get finances.
Yep.
I have certain things that I need to achieve in life, and it requires me to have my finances in order.
Yeah.
Right? That's simply what it is.
100%.
I like talking about money because I feel that a lot of people have a negative approach as soon as you say the word money.
Yeah.
They have a negative thing and their brain starts switching off, or they start getting offended, and now you need to be grateful. I'm not saying not be grateful like what you said, but things cost money. If people have a negative approach for money and they don't want to talk about it, then go work for free.
100%.
Right, go to work and do it for passion
Yeah.
only. Then don't
100%.
get paid. Like then stop
You can't
buying.
live off life,
Yeah,
love and fresh air.
Yeah, like then stop buying tins of ice cream. Go buy Ola.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
You know?
Like
Don't
like,
eat ice cream.
Exactly,
you know?
but it's the same people that say that want
100%.
more things, but then they don't. They have a negative
Yeah,
approach.
but
to
you
it.
know, you'll find it that those people give them that expensive ice cream and they'll take it.
Yeah,
Because they don't want to push that themselves to that extra point to say, listen, I can also go and get this for myself.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, and I told you this earlier, it's like, one day is one day I'll win the lotto. You didn't even play the lotto. Why would you win the lotto?
Exactly. People.
You're not going to get there. You haven't even taken the first step. You
Yeah.
haven't even reached out. Again, I go back to the hand. You haven't even reached out
Yeah.
to where you want to be, where you want to start, what you want to do.
Yeah.
But then you expect this life.
Yeah, exactly. People today, our generation today, I'm just going to say it, everyone or most of y'all are entitled and y'all are lazy and you want things to be given to you guys for free and you don't want to put in effort. You want to study and get the degree and you want to go straight into a management position. It doesn't work like that. If you don't know how to manage 10,000 Rand, you're not going to know how to manage 50,000 Rand. So start getting some skills and knowledge about
Bottom line.
money and how to manage the stuff, and then you can get more money.
Bottom
Because
line.
you didn't start like that.
100%.
You had to learn how to figure out how to, to take 10K and flip it and make 50K. These, today our generation wants to start with 100K.
Yeah.
When you go for a job and they say you're going to do an internship. Oh, I don't want an internship. I want a permanent salary. When
Yeah.
am I going to become permanent? They just want things too quickly and they don't want to put in the effort.
You know, and the thing is for the hustle, and I go back to, and again, I'm not dissing school and education, but there's no textbook for the hustle.
100%.
There's no textbook.
100%.
It's got to be in your heart. You've got to have the passion and you got to want to live the life. If you don't want to live the life, go find yourself a mediocre job. Go and don't even study after school.
And it's the same thing. It goes back to the quote that I got from 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And he said, if everything that you needed was in the book, then the teacher would be too successful to teach the class.
There's no better way to say it than that.
That hit so hard.
There's
and I
no
remember
better
when
way
I-
to say
When
that.
I posted that, you hit me and you're like, damn, that hits a bit hard.
That's because there's no better way to say that.
Yeah, 100%.
And the funny thing is, you say that I rocked up recently in the South to a shop and I was buying bread because I was on my way home.
Yeah.
And I met one of our old teachers and he's like, yo, I checked you and you're doing well in life. And I said, it's no thanks to you.
Yeah.
And he started laughing. I said, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
What did you teach me that gave me the opportunity to buy a G63
Yeah.
with the Brabus kit?
Yeah.
Now I'm flexing on my
Yeah.
teachers.
100%. Like for me, the question is the business teacher a business owner?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, how are you going to teach me how to make 5 million if you don't even have 500K?
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you don't go into this loophole and get stuck in there and thinking what they say is the be all and end all.
Yeah.
Because that's not it.
100%.
You've got to take everything in today's world with a pinch of salt, use your own initiative and take it from there.
100%. And I think that was so sick. I think we can, as we said, we can go on and on, I think, but we'll stop here. And I just want to get into some of the questions that came our way. So I'm just going to fire some. Let me just go on my app real quick. And one of the questions is quite a few. Well, this is a weird one. Have you ever watched Harry Potter?
I stopped watching like after I think Harry Potter 4 or 5. Like it just became too
Got
much
wild.
for me. Like, yeah.
This is a nice question. When you want to give up, what drives you to continue?
My wife and my kids.
Powerful.
Like I look at them every single day and there's no stopping.
I love that. Next question. What car was your wedding car and who drove you?
These are anonymous questions. Right?
Right,
I know
anonymous.
exactly who asked that. So my wedding car, the funny thing is I had a Nissan Sentra and everybody that knows me from back in the day,
Yeah.
like from school, that was my first car out of school. My father bought me this car and it was like 4 grand. We'll post a pic of that car, of what it looked like. And he bought me this car for 4 grand and we did it up. So going to my wedding, didn't have a wedding car. One of my best friends, Brennan, rocks up with this guy's a baller of note. Like up till today, he's like a baller. He's a trucking magnet, like a mining, like proper balling. And back in the day, I'm talking like 2001, 2002, he had the drop top M3 and he rocks up with his father's Benz, like a proper Benz, like 20-inch wheels.
Yeah.
So he lends me this car and he's like, listen, we're not only going to put this car, let's put your number plate on it. It's like,
Wow.
so we personalize the plates just for the wedding.
That's
and stuff.
powerful.
So yeah.
That's crazy. Now the next one. Who is your best friend in the whole world? Somebody's trying to set you up here.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know me. I don't hang around with a lot of people. I've got 2-3 best friends, either Brendan, Nolan. So it's one of those fools.
And then the next one, hey, I think this looks like one of your kids. You're gonna mess around and get the Wi-Fi password changed. So this is hey, your wife is not gonna like this question. The one question is, would you want a second wife?
My wife is watching, so I'm allowed 4.
Let's go. Let's go.
Taking in, hand in your CVs. I wonder if she'll take in applicants.
That's crazy. I didn't say anything. It's not me. Not me. But this is nice. This is not a question. It says not a question. You're an inspiration to everyone who knew you back in the day. Keep killing it.
You check. So that's cool. Like, I mean, as much as there's haters, I do have my fan base, like people that's always rooting for me.
Yeah.
People that when they see me, it's like, yo, Naim, don't stop doing what you're doing. Our kids are looking, we're looking. Thank you for showing us this is possible. And it's just my luck that I've been fortunate enough to make decisions that brought me and given me this opportunity. But like I said, everybody's entitled to greatness, and I think everybody can have great stuff. There's amazing things that's out there that everybody can acknowledge and can have. It's just what you put into it, So comments like that really mean a lot to me, especially when I see people and they're like, don't stop being you.
Yeah. Another one, not a question. It says, just want to say, keep inspiring others and keep doing what you do. That's powerful.
So that's cool.
So there was quite a few. I just picked obviously just some, and that was otherwise we'd be here forever. But yeah, I think just from my side, I think I mentioned it in the first video that you're one of the sponsors for my podcast, for the Craftcast. So I really appreciate it. I think from a friend point of view, I really appreciate you and everything that you do for me, do for everyone else around you. I'm not the only one who speaks like this. I know a lot of people that speak the same way about you because of the person that you are. For always availing. Firstly, people at your level don't avail themselves as much as you do.
I'm not that high up.
No. But some people think they have some sort of achievement and they think they made it in life and now they're too good for everyone else. So the thing is, like I'm saying, for you, as busy as you are, for all the stuff that you're doing, for all the businesses that you're running, for you to always make time for us, for every idea that I have, for everyone else has. I know you do the same thing for Ethan and stuff as well. Like, it's crazy. And I think, we really appreciate that. And so you see, maybe we do a part 2 of this. Maybe we do it in the garage and we talk a bit more about the cars.
I think we didn't even unpack like what I do for a living. We spoke about me being in media and stuff. But I think like a lot of kids, a lot of parents ask me like, what do my kids have to do to be in this space? So I think, if there's a need for it, we'll definitely unpack that a little bit more.
I think
and touch base on
100%.
A couple of other topics. And I think people will have a few comments, whether they're agreeing with us, whether they don't.
100%.
That's your opinion, and we love that. Please give us your opinion, and we'll unpack it in the next one.
100%. So guys, thanks so much for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. This was the second episode of the Craftcast where we talked about Naeem's craft. We got to know him a little bit more, and a little bit about him and what he does and what he likes, and the whole side of motivation and the aspiration things and the hustle. And so keep it locked, subscribe. Remember to subscribe, like the video, share it with everyone. This is not just for you, it's for everyone. That's why we put it on this platform. And until the next one, peace.